CAT scans are showing that there is no progression of that swelling. We're not out of the woods yet. That swelling can sometimes take 3 days or 5 days to maximize, but every day that goes by and we don't see an increase, we're slightly more optimistic. And so with that in mind, I think we are going to proceed over the next few days to see how she does.
Okay, doctors at University Medical Center in Tucson are cautiously optimistic that Representative Gabby Giffords will recover from a gunshot to the head.
Our next guest is Alan Barksdale. And Alan, we appreciate your time this morning, and we were just chatting a bit during the break. You were shot in the head back in '01, and it was during an altercation that you, somebody had approached you, but it was at a construction job site. You were working with your cousin?
Yes, I was at a private residence in Detroit. And basically, he and I were both victims of a violent crime. Crazy person with a gun. We see this before.
He was known kind of like in the neighborhood for being kind of like a troublemaker.
Yes, definitely.
So this guy pulls out a gun and he shot your cousin.
He shot my cousin. I intervened to try to grab the gun from him. I neglected to mention there were 2 assailants. So
okay.
Actually, I was shot from behind. The big difference is the bullet did not enter and exit my skull. It actually ricocheted off.
Okay.
However, I sustained 4 other skull fractures during the same incident. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of the same brain trauma maybe that the Congresswoman has.
When did this happen?
This happened in 2001.
So where exactly did the bullet ricochet off your head? Where did it happen?
Right here. And
okay.
I cracked the orbital radius and ricocheted off. I had a few other graze wounds, but I was hit a few times with a shovel afterwards. So.
By the same guy?
His son.
His son. Do you recall what caliber bullet that was?
32.
It's a 32. What happened afterwards? Do you remember what happened when medics arrived and how you were treated?
I was in and out of consciousness for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. I do remember a lot of pain, mm-hmm. which lasted a very, very long time. But I had brain swelling for a couple of days. I was in ICU for a short time.
And once you said you had brain swelling as well, and that's always something they worry about whenever there's trauma to the head. Once you were stable enough to leave ICU, what was the rest of your care like? What happened after that?
Well, I had a lot of symptoms. I had hyperphagia, hyperesthesia, I'm sorry, which is basically your nerves can't process the signals correctly. Mm-hmm. And like if a feather had dropped on my neck, it would have felt like it was a flame. You know,
wow.
So the nerves just don't know how to process the information they're receiving and sending it back to your brain.
So what did they do to help with that?
It was actually just recently I received some help as far as I've had headaches since the incident. Mm-hmm. Up until recently. I went through a Brainwave Optimization session with the folks at Brain State mm-hmm. Technologies, mm-hmm. and it basically rebalanced the signals from the left side and the right side so that the pain receptors are now receiving something closer to the signal that they should receive. So the level of pain that I had was really severe for the last 9 years, but there's been about a 50% reduction in pain recently, and I'm still recovering. I notice differences every week.
Well, I was about to ask you, how long did it take you to recover, but you're still recovering.
I do feel like
9 years later.
Yeah.
And dealing with the incident, not only physically has it taken this long to just get to where you are now, even though you're not fully recovered, mm-hmm. mentally, I'm sure it's an ongoing process as well. Especially
when you have chronic pain, there is a mental and emotional issue issues that you can't avoid. Mm-hmm. All I can say is that you have to have a good support system, and the Congresswoman is going to go through that for the rest of her life. You can't forget that. But how she's going to, be able to grow from it and heal is going to be the question.
Well, here we are 9 years after your incident, and you moved here, obviously, from Detroit. Well, what is your life like now? Are you working, or are you still convalescing? Or?
I'm actually trying to get back into the workforce again soon. I was a mechanic when this happened. I wasn't a construction worker.
You were just helping out your cousin.
I was just helping out my cousin.
Yeah.
And there were, with all the physical issues that I had, it was no way I could go back into the same career that I had at the time. I'd like to do something like that again soon, but right now I'm still working my situation out. So.
Well, okay, so there you go. I mean, we're talking about severe brain trauma that happened 9 years ago, and here you are still convalescing and trying to get back into normal.
I'm a lot better than I was.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Well, Alan, we sure appreciate you
Alan
sharing
Barksdale, thank you very much.
story.
And welcome to Arizona. When did you move here?
In 04.
04? That's been better than Detroit, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot better. A lot better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck for the rest of your process that you'll go through.
No, thank you very much.
Get myfoxphoenix.com on your iPhone free at the App Store and stay connected.